So in September, Laura and I went on a road trip to Long Beach, California to attend the retirement of our friend Reverend Bobby Becker. And it was fun. Brought back a lot of good memories, fun road trips. Hadn't been to church for a while, and I thought, wow. And I was listening to Reverend Bobby and thinking, oh, that looks fun. So Laura and I got in the car and I said, I might be open to speaking before the end of the year. She goes, I'll send you the titles. So I got them later that day, and I reviewed them, and then I let them go. And then a few days later, I reviewed them, and I saw November 2nd, Awakening to Mystic Consciousness. Okay, well, that's for me, because as many of you know, that is my passion. So that's how I got here, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Laura. Because it is truly a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be here. And I take that seriously, so thank you. Who are you? Who are you? To me, awakening mystical consciousness is an exploration of that question. Who am I? Who am I? And so I'd like to take just a moment and invite you to close your eyes. And just go within and silently within yourself, ask yourself that. Who am I? Who am I? Just notice what comes up. Open your eyes. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Awakening mystical consciousness is experiencing a profound shift in awareness where we realize our true spiritual identity. Awakening mystical consciousness is experiencing a profound shift in awareness where we realize our true spiritual identity. So I'm going to talk about 4 things this morning. From a broad perspective, a lot of what I'm going to talk about is the work of Michael Singer. Now, he has great books out there. He has tons and tons of talks on YouTube. So if what I'm talking about today is interesting to you, sparks something to you, go and dive into his work. It's quite amazing. So the 4 things I'm going to talk about are, what is my true spiritual identity? What is the personal mind? What is consciousness? And what is letting go? That's what I'm going to talk about today. So, what is our true spiritual consciousness? In the beginning, God. In the beginning, consciousness. God and consciousness are often used synonymously. So we are created in the image and likeness of God. I am consciousness. That's what that means. I'm created in the image and likeness of God. I am consciousness. So as consciousness, I have been born into this physical body, and I have come here to experience creation as it comes in and passes through me. The world comes in, it's beautiful, it passes through me. This could be known as the Garden of Eden. And in the garden, everything has its nature. A rattlesnake has its nature, and a butterfly has its nature. And I am one with the nature of things. That's what being in paradise, the Garden of Eden, is. I am one with the nature of things. And I allow myself to experience each deeply. So while a butterfly may elicit joy and a rattlesnake may elicit fear, I'm just allowing myself to experience that deeply. That experience passes through, and as a result, I become a greater being. That's the deal. I'm here to experience life deeply, allow it to pass through me, and as a result, become a greater being. But you know what happens? Somewhere along the line, I decide that butterflies are good and rattlesnakes are bad. Uh-oh. So I like butterflies and I dislike rattlesnakes. This is the beginning of the personal mind. But what is the personal mind? The personal mind is, I have eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Right? I started judging. I like some things, I don't like other things. We know how the story goes. Once you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we get kicked out of the garden. We get the boot, like we're out. What happens once we're outside the Garden of Eden? We're working by the sweat of our brow. Life changes, doesn't it? It used to be this beautiful paradise of oneness and deep experiences and learning and growth, and now, here I am, stuck in this personal mind. I started judging my experience. That's what happened. So some things I like, and I cling to them. And some things I dislike, so I resist them. I push them away, right? The Buddhists refer to this as clinging and resisting. And so these experiences I'm having are no longer passing through, are they? They're getting stuck because I'm clinging and I'm resisting. They're getting stuck, and now I am out of harmony with reality. Joel Goldsmith would call that the human experience. Michael Singer calls it the human predicament. Reality is not personal. Boy, if we got that, it would change our lives. Reality is not personal. But I just made it personal, didn't I? I just made it personal because I like some things and I don't like other things. So I've created these blockages inside. And as a result of that, now I'm trying to control my experiences in order that these blockages don't get hit. My personal mind starts working overtime to try to keep me okay inside. I asked it to. Let's remember that. I said, mind, I'm not okay in here, so help me make things be okay. Here's what this could look like. Just a little example. See if you can relate to it at all. I'm invited to a party. I don't really like parties. I don't like being around lots of people. It's just not my thing. So, reluctantly, I say yes to going to the party. Well, it's not long after I say yes that I start thinking, what the hell did I say I'd go to this party for? I don't really want to go to the party. I don't like being around lots of people. I don't like the energy. I don't like the superficial talk. I can't take it. What am I going to wear? I don't know what to wear. I don't know what you wear to I don't know what people are wearing to these things these days, whatever. You know what? I don't even fit half the clothes I might wear to this party that I'm going to. What am I going to do? And not to mention, Susan's going to be there. Now, the last time I saw her, she was so freaking obnoxious. I couldn't believe what she said to me. Okay, so I gotta let Lester know about this so that when we're at the party, I can say, Lester, if you see Susan coming my way, you got to be paying attention to come over here and get me and steer me in another direction so that I'm not really near her, but I'm not being rude because she already thinks I'm a, I'm super anxious. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not happy with myself that I put myself in this situation. You might say, I'm suffering. Anybody relate? Imagine all the stuff that's in here that we're doing that about. Whew, layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. Okay, because my mind did this, like I said, I'm suffering. And that is the Buddha's first noble truth. All of life is suffering. Sometimes we think suffering is my house burned down. My loved ones have passed away. I've been diagnosed with an illness. I've lost my job. Sometimes we think that's what suffering is, but I just described to you what suffering is, and I know you know what it is because you're in there, experiencing your own stuff. So I'm suffering because inside here, I'm anxious. Sometimes I'm insecure. I'm self-conscious. I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, or I want things to be a certain way. I need them to be a certain way and they're not. So I'm disappointed, I'm messed up, things aren't okay because they're not the way I want them to be. So there's all this stuff going on inside and I'm in here trying to figure out how to make it be okay. And that's suffering. The second noble truth is, the cause of all suffering is desire. Now, sometimes we don't really understand what desire means. The cause of all suffering is desire. What is desire? Desire is, I want things to be this way, and I don't want things to be that way. There you have it. Right? Otherwise known as preferences. I have preferences about how I want things to be. And all of these preferences create a self-concept. They create the personal mind. They create the ego, the psyche, lots of names for it. But the bottom line is, I become identified with that. All that stuff that was going on there, I'm in there and I think that's who I am. B.F. Skinner says, we are the sum of our learned experiences. We are the sum of our learned experiences. I've identified with all this stuff that's going on inside of me, and I've forgotten who I am. Right? I'm outside the garden, working by the sweat of my brow. Believe me, all that business I was going through because I was invited to a party is not pleasant. That's a lot of work. And I got to talk to my friends about it. And complain about it, and get them on board about how bad parties are, and who wants to dress up these days anyway. What's the alternative? What's the alternative? I notice that I'm in here. I'm noticing that I feel anxious. I'm noticing that I feel resistance. I'm noticing that I feel joy. I'm noticing that I'm trying to think up how I can get out of this party. Who is noticing? Who's noticing? In a lot of his talks, Michael Singer will say, hi, are you in there? Are you in there? He said, so far nobody's really said, no, I'm not in here. I'm in here. I'm in here. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my emotions, and I'm aware of the outside world coming in through my five senses, right? I am awareness. Remember, in the beginning, I am consciousness. Another word for consciousness is awareness. So that means, kind of from a very high spiritual stance, I am the experiencer, not the experience, right? I'm the subject, not the object. And so that brings us kind of to what is consciousness. And so I know over the years I've shared these examples before, and I share them again because they're such powerful examples. Do we really understand what consciousness is? If I ask you, Somebody's asking something. If I ask you if you are these flowers, if you're this music stand, or you're that screen, which one are you? Which one of those things are you? None of them. You're the one who sees. You're the one who sees these things. You are not these things. Have you ever looked in the mirror? 5 minutes ago. Yeah, less and less over time. Did you look in the mirror when you were 3? When you were 15? When you're 25? When you're 50? When you're 70? When you're 92? Does the image that you are looking at change? Does who's looking change? The consciousness that is aware of the reflection doesn't change. Do you dream at night? Sometimes we remember, sometimes we don't. But when you do remember, how do you know? How do you know you're dreaming? Because I'm in here as consciousness, and I experienced it. That's how I know. Consciousness is often associated with light, and we hear the expression, I am the light of consciousness, a lot. So let's think of ourselves as the light. Okay? Consciousness is light. So as light, I am shining over here on a garbage dump, I'm shining over here on Disneyland, and I'm shining over here on this room. Am I what the light is shining on? No, I'm the light. So consciousness is focusing our attention on something, right? And consciousness never change, but the objects that I'm focusing the light on, the objects that I'm focusing my consciousness on, can change, right? So those are the objects of consciousness, but I'm in here, I'm consciousness. I'm the awareness that's aware of these objects. So that helps us understand what consciousness is. So when Skinner says, I am the sum of my learned experiences, that's true in the human scene, that's true psychologically, but from a spiritual perspective, am I the sum of my learned experiences? No. No. I'm the consciousness that's aware of the sum of my learned experience. That's the path to freedom right there, kids. I'm the consciousness that's aware that I'm depressed. I'm the consciousness that's aware that I'm happy. I'm the consciousness that's aware that I'm anxious. I am the one who sees, and that is my true spiritual identity. I am consciousness experiencing reality. You could use that as something to contemplate for a long time, and it would change your interaction with every moment in front of you. I am consciousness experiencing reality. Do we usually experience reality? Hell no. We experience our reaction to reality. I'm not experiencing the moment in front of me. I'm experiencing my reaction to the moment in front of me. So when I realize that I'm consciousness experiencing reality, that I am the experiencer of reality, that state of consciousness, that place, is often referred to as being established in the seat of self. Have you heard that term before? I'm established in the seat of self. It means that I know that I am who I am, that I am consciousness, and everything that I experience is an object. So I just want to say this. When I meditate, sometimes when we meditate, we are taught to imagine I'm sitting by a stream, and as the thoughts go by, it's like they're a little stick, and I notice the stick, it's coming by, and I watch it go. And here comes another one, and I watch it go. I just observe these things going by, right? I imagine that my thoughts are clouds, and I look at the clouds, and I just notice that they're passing by. And that is how we become established in the seat of self. We remember that I'm the one who sees. So I start to free myself from my blockages that I've stored inside, those that have built the personal mind. I start to free myself from those. And I use my life. I use my daily life to let go of what is disturbing me or distracting me. I learn how to free myself from myself. Have any of you ever learned to play tennis, learned to play the piano, learned calculus, learned how to give a speech? We learn things. We learn how to free ourselves from ourselves. That's the good news. We can learn that. So here's something that's very important to consider. What is my intention? Is my intention more or better humanhood, as Joel would say? Is my intention to get what I want and avoid what I don't want? Or do I want to free myself from myself and realize my true spiritual identity? One works, the other one doesn't. They're not right or wrong. One just works and the other one doesn't. And we're in here living our lives, so we know it doesn't work. Right? If I'm being run by any of my preferences, I know it ain't working. So it's important to be honest with ourselves. And I invite you even to spend some time very seriously watching what's going on inside of me. Watch what's going on inside of you. Am I trying to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic? I'm telling you, we can spend our whole lives rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Now, I can assure you that's a waste of a life. And sometimes if we ever feel like we're wasting our life, that's why. What we want is to get airlifted off the Titanic. We have a choice. I have a choice. The Buddhists call this working at the root. I can rearrange the chairs, or I can get the hell off. That's working at the root. That's freeing myself. So I commit to spiritual growth when I'm willing to let go of the stored blockages from the past and not continue to create more in the present moment. And I do this by relaxing and releasing. This is a technique that Singer teaches, and he always says, I don't teach techniques, but this is the main one. Relaxing and releasing, which means letting go. When I have an inner disturbance and I'm aware of it, I relax through that initial resistance, and then I release the disturbed energy and I let it pass through. That's how I start to free myself. And it's not complicated. I just live my life and I pay attention. And when I notice an inner disturbance, I relax. I let go and I release. Years and years and years and years and years ago, decades ago, I heard Michael Beckwith say, 100% of spiritual growth is about letting go. I know I've said that 100 times. Reverend Laura says it 100 times. 100% of spiritual growth is letting go. And I can tell you after 25, 30 years of knowing that truth, it never stops going deeper. It's true. 100% of spiritual growth is about letting go. So I want to give you some examples for us to understand what letting go is. What does it mean to let go? So I'm living my life. I'm becoming more conscious. So as I'm moving through my life, I realize that I am feeling a disturbance inside. I have 4 choices. So as I'm sharing these with you, think about your own life and what you might do with these and how you use these. Because here's the deal. When we're unconscious, we don't even know we're doing this. When we're unconscious, we don't even know we're doing this. So the fact that I'm going to share this with you is going to help you be more conscious and notice what it is you're doing. Okay, I'm in an elevator. This is an example Singer gave in a talk I listened to this week, and it was so good. I'm in an elevator. There are 6 people on the elevator. The elevator is not that big. And there's a person standing by the control, pushing the door open button anytime anyone comes near the elevator. Perfect situation. I'm uncomfortable. I am bugged. I'm claustrophobic. I'm in a hurry. I'm freaking out. Okay? There's really nothing wrong. When we're looking at reality, there's really nothing wrong, right? The elevator's rated for this many people. It's okay. The bottom line is, I'm in here freaking out because I have a preference that we get the hell going. So, here's my first choice. I can express my discomfort, right? I'm on the elevator. I'm saying to the person at the thing, what the hell are you doing? Get your hands off the button. We're in a hurry. We all got places to go. Close the damn door. Anybody ever do anything like that? In other words, I can't handle it. Stop doing it. This is wrong. So I manifest my discomfort externally in an attempt to manipulate and control my environment. And here's the kicker, peeps. When I do that, I'm creating karma. Think about it. I just vomited all over people. All this disturbance that was inside, bleh, I just dumped it on people. And that leaves impressions. You kind of hope that 3 months down the road, you're not going for a job interview and you're being interviewed by the guy who's pushing the buttons. Okay. So, second choice, I suppress. What this looks like is just shut up, just shut up. My God, just bite your tongue, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. Anybody ever suppress experiences we don't like? We push them down, it's not so healthy in there, and don't think we're not going to blow a gasket down the road and get involved in some more expressing and karma creating. Third option, I've become conscious enough to know to practice acceptance. So this is what that sounds like. I'm in the elevator, I'm freaking out, I'm saying to myself, I'm okay. I'm okay. I can handle this. This is what's happening in the moment. It doesn't have to be my way. And I start accepting the reality of the situation. Now, acceptance is higher than expressing and suppressing. We see that, right? Because when I'm accepting, I'm not creating more disturbances outside and inside. So I did good. I succeeded in creating less trouble, but that's not letting go. That's not surrendering. So here's what letting go is. I'm in the elevator, I'm freaking out. I'm conscious enough to know I'm freaking out. And I realize I don't want this inside me. I'm going to use this moment to go to God. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use this moment to go to God. I'm going to use this moment to grow spiritually. I'm going to use this moment to let go. I want to let go of the part of me that is creating this disturbance. That's what letting go is. And it's only when I do that that real spiritual growth takes place. I can make a really nice world by practicing acceptance. And if I practice acceptance each day, I'm not causing more trouble for myself. So that's a super place to start. However, I left the disturbance in there to come back up again. I must be willing to let go at the deepest root level. I must be willing to die daily. I must be willing to die daily. And that is why we have spiritual practices. Am I partaking in spiritual practices to create more and better humanhood? I want this, I need to do this is my goal, please pray for a new house, blah, 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 blah. Why? Why am I doing that? Because I'm not okay inside, and I think those things are going to make me okay. Right? So I have to be honest about that. Or are my spiritual practices geared toward developing the seat of self within myself that is so strong that I can't be swept away the moment I experience a disturbance? So that's what being seated in the self means. Now I'm going to wrap this up. I know I've gone over time, and that's how it rolls. I'm not here too often. As I practice letting go, I begin to free myself from myself. What happens when I do that? I rise. If you imagine a hot air balloon in the middle of a field, and it is tethered to the ground by ropes, I can do everything I want to do to try to make that balloon rise, but it ain't happening if I don't cut the tethers that are holding it down. So this spiritual work, the practice of letting go, releases those tethers, and what happens? The hot air balloon naturally rises. And that's why Michael Beckwith says 100% of spiritual growth is about letting go. Close your eyes just for a moment. And I just ask you to ask yourself again, who am I? Who am I? What is my true spiritual identity? Just notice what's coming up now. Thank you. You, every one of you, are a great being. And the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Reality is not personal. Everything just is. When I'm living in that awareness, I'm no longer a taker from the moment that's unfolding in front of me. If I'm trying to get something from the moment in front of me because I'm not okay, I'm a taker. But when I realize who I really am, I can now interact with the moment in front of me to raise the moment. That's the purpose of our life. I'm here to raise the moment. Joel Goldsmith would call this, my life is a blessing and a benediction. I'm now in service to the moment. Wow. I mean, imagine what that feels like. That's our true spiritual identity. I become a giver, and my life unfolds in front of me, and I don't resist it, I dance with it. I'm able to actually see the moment in front of me for the isness that it is. So awakening mystical consciousness is experiencing a profound shift in awareness where we realize our true spiritual identity. Who am I? I am that I am. I am that I am. I am consciousness experiencing reality. And I will close with this, the words of our beloved Joel Goldsmith. And the I will rise up if I resist not. The I will rise up if I resist not. Be still. Don't fight the danger. Let go. Let the I am that I am take over. Namaste. So I invite you just to close your eyes as we enter into prayer. And I just simply give thanks for this moment. I give thanks for the consciousness that is available right here and right now, the God being that each of us is. And I give thanks for the greater realization of that. I give thanks for remembering, for knowing that I am that I am. And I know that I am one with all of life, that I am always in my perfect place, experiencing reality. I allow the experiences of my life to come in, to deeply touch me, and to pass through. And I automatically become a greater being as a result of it. And so I let go. I let go. I use my life to free myself. I pay attention to when I am not comfortable, and I relax and release and let these blockages free. And then the energy can rise up. Then I automatically start experiencing my true nature. And my life becomes an experience of joy, inspiration, passion, possibility, love, high energy, bliss. The I that I am is Satchidananda, which means truth, consciousness, bliss. Eternal conscious bliss. That is who I am. And I welcome that. I take that into my soul and say yes to that and allow my inner guidance to guide me each and every day as I move through my life to continue to relax, to release, to let go, and to free myself. And I will find myself back in the garden, one with the divine. And my life is a blessing and a benediction every moment. And the joy is astounding. That's the way it is. And I let it be. And so it is.